Hello, you beautiful people. I know the vlog is late. I'm going to talk a bit more about that near the end of the vlog. Uh, but for this, I want to talk about the scale of difficulty and its effect on your game's narrative. For this, I'm specifically thinking like multi-victor games, to extent victorless games. It's something I was noticing coming up a lot at PAX Unplugged back in November. Or was it? Yeah. Um, Maybe it's a bit obvious to say that if there's like a difficulty slider in a game, the further you slide it towards easy, the more like cozy it is and lighthearted the experience is, and the more you slide it towards impossible, the more grim and hopeless the game will feel. But still, often I'd hear this feedback for Cursed VHS, where players want to know that it's more possible to get their true soul. Like it's possible it gets discarded, like completely, like through no fault of your own, no misplay. It just by chance got discarded, and they're like, it sucks when that happens, and they're wanting to like some way to like circumvent that. Or in Hollow, players will be wanting more tools to get the fruit that they need, to make it just like a little bit easier to find, because it's like just like two copies in this massive deck of cards. But these things, like, they wouldn't just make the game easier, they would clash with like the story and the message of these games, like the narrative arc and beats. Cursed VHS is meant to be a bit like a horror movie, where getting your true soul is meant to be very challenging or impossible, and you're forced to pivot to these like harsh alternatives. And Hollow is like meant to be an experience where you're facing like the unforgivable void, and you might find like a rare, highly coveted fruit that would be your only hope of delaying the inevitable, other than the much more accessible path of like pursuing your dark desire, which it has like these kind of dark, like coded things going on with it. So like this is part of why with Bread I try to scale the difficulty on that, because there's like a certain narrative beat that I'm trying to hit with it, like overcoming like overwhelming odds is something I really only want collaborative players to experience, because otherwise I have to scale down that difficulty, because players will bring enough of their own strife, and this isn't meant to be like a death march. Like if players are fighting already, then the world being harsh and cruel is just going to make that even worse. Camp Charmwood, on the other hand, is meant to be a cozy experience, and that's why the starting field guide gives you so many freebies and such. Yeah, it's not meant to be like this harsh cutthroat, like we're on the verge of losing it all kind of experience. But one reason I really wanted to talk about this is because of this month's Unranked highlight, David Kessler's The Last Olive Tree. You play as these Palestinian civilians that are trying to partake in this tradition of making olive oil, and while you're doing this, you're getting constantly interrupted with the brutal consequences of being occupied by foreign forces over the course of several decades. So your goal is to make as much olive oil as you can, but it quickly becomes clear that you're going to have to work hard as hell to make even just like one like bottle of olive oil. You move between these cards on this grid, right? And these actions on the cards have you move these olives down your like your card, from like harvesting them, washing them, crushing them, kneading them, pressing them, finally decanting them. And so while you're taking the actions on these cards, you might find sometimes you can't take a certain action because you don't have some olives that are in the right state to take a certain action. And when that happens, that's when the consequences of foreign occupation make things even harder, and often you end up losing olives, which is a negative feedback loop that makes it even harder to make olive oil. So it's easy to imagine playing this game very aggressively, like blocking critical spaces, seeing that somebody needs to do something and blocking their path to it, and forcing them to lose olives, but the decision space on this game is so tight that even when you're collaborating with others, it seems like it would be like an impossible struggle to make even one bottle. And so the game gives you these tools to help each other, like passing olives at various stages of like the olive oil production process. So they may have a chance to take care of the olives that you're not ready to take care of. Like they could crush them and you could harvest them. I don't know, stuff like that. But like in the game that I played, even with all of us like working together, I barely eked out one bottle for the whole table. I really feel like the really impossible difficulty that's pushed on us like really helps like force the players into a position of like trying their best to collaborate and cooperate. And it also has this consequence of making it like a very like somber game. Like you're like trying to scrape by and you see the writing on the wall and you're just trying your best to like navigate in this very like claustrophobic space. Aside from like the design aspect of it, I just really appreciate how it centered this like Palestinian tradition. I felt like I actually learned a bit about how olive oil is made. I didn't know so much went into it. And it was also like, I also got to see like the various negative consequences of them being occupied. So excellent game. Highlight of PAX Unplugged for me. Personal favorite there. Free Palestine. Okay. For my personal updates, I was selling Conviction at the indie night market, and I thought that went well. Finally got those back from so I finally got a chance to sell them there and also on lunar.games. So if you're interested in getting a copy of that, you should check it out. It was also reviewed along with Persuasion by Dan Thoreau. He's already reviewed Persuasion's print to play, but he reviewed the published game by Hollandspiel. And I can't remember the exact words he used, but I was really blown away by how he felt about these games, and I really feel like he gets at the heart of them. So I really appreciate that. My only other update is that as I worked a little bit on Unraveled at PAX Unplugged, I really like what the eye clue tokens are doing for this loose. Kind of give you clues as to where their loyalties lie. And having this loose explicitly ask the conspirator for more cards instead of actively asking to pause. This felt like a good change to the pacing of the game. There's still like some like things that could be streamlined a little bit. So it's still a work in progress. There's like the design is done, but I'm like trying to polish all these like rough edges to it. But I'm really liking it. I'm thinking I might need to get some character illustrations for this loose. I'm approaching a point where I might have to consider like unguided testing with it. Again. For my upcoming stuff, I'm super hyped to go to MagFest in January. It's my favorite place for playtesting. I usually get to sell some games too. Probably going to be selling Conviction and Vibes there, so hope to see you there. Otherwise, I'm going to go quiet for a couple weeks, hibernate for the winter, also family time. You may have noticed that my vlogs are getting later and later. Part of that is the woodland that have been haunting my life for the past few months. But here's the thing. I usually revisit the way I'm doing my vlogs in December. And while I have enjoyed having these topics and these unranked highlights, I don't know if it's something I could sustain. I sometimes find myself kind of stretching like topics to find something to talk about, and to an extent, I feel like the dialogues at dusk at Lunar Games are just way more insightful and interesting than listening to me ramble about something that I perceive to be an insight when I don't really know. I don't really get a lot of feedback on if these are super useful. But, and I don't know, they don't feel useful to me, but maybe, I don't know, maybe people have other opinions. Let me know. Let me know if these are valuable to you, and I'll keep trying, but sometimes I don't know what to talk about. The way I want to do this next year, is to just make videos about topics when I feel the inspiration hit me. And otherwise, I'll just do like small little updates. Maybe I'll do short updates, and I'll probably have a separate playlist for like the topics, but that's the way I'm thinking about doing this going forward. So I'm not stressing about it. I'm not like trying to figure out when I'm going to have time to record and edit one of these when every single minute of the day is dedicated towards like getting ready for conventions or getting ready for midnight market or something. It's so much all the time. Being a publisher is like having a lot of hats. So that's what I'm thinking. And that's it. That's all my updates. Hope you have a lovely time. As lovely as one can in these insane like times. Well, I'll see you later. Ciao. See you in 2026. I forgot I have a sticker that my kid put on my head. That's staying in the video though. I'm not recording this again. Yeah, that's all the updates. Yeah. It's my birthday today. Did you know it's my birthday today? I got this as a birthday present to myself. It's a Marie Anger ceramic cup that is hostile towards me. It's rebelling against being used like a cup, and I love that. You never know how long to do this bit.